Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Insight Talk Show. I am Jaime Adair with Foundation for Blind Children, and today we have Carrie Vogiatzis, physical therapist. Hi, Ms. Carrie.
Good morning, Ms. Jaime.
Carrie, can you tell us what you do at Foundation for Blind Children?
I'm a physical therapist, and I work with the kids, and I help them develop their gross motor skills.
So, Ms. Carrie, can you tell us what gross motor skills are?
Gross motor skills are the use of the big muscle groups of the body and help coordinating them. So like the arms, the head, the legs, head control and sitting. So some gross motor activities that we might work on in the school are having children put their head up, having them sit tall. Other gross motor skills might include learning to roll, crawl, walk, run, jump. And there's a subsection of gross motor skills that deal with throwing and kicking and catching.
Thank you. And so today, with the virus going on, we know a lot of us are trying to work on our gross motor activities, get our kiddos moving. The weather is beautiful outside. So what are some things our families can do with their student or their children outside?
Well, something they can do that's really simple. If you're already taking your kids outside for a walk, probably in the cooler part of the day now that it's starting to warm up, you can just be intentional with some of the activities that you're doing. With our new walkers or even some kiddos who've been walking for a while, just the experience of walking on cement, grass, rocks, or different kind of terrains is helpful. Helping kids transition between the two different terrains, giving them however much support that they need. So maybe you can hold one hand, hold two hands, hold them at the shoulders to help them cross those different terrains. If there's a grassy hill, running up and down the hill, and if your kiddo needs assistance, you can help them walk up and down the hill. And something it seems like everybody loves to do is to find something to jump off of. So if there's any big boulders that you can help your child climb up on and then hold their hands and help them jump down. You can help them jump down a curb, of course, in a very quiet street without any cars coming. And then sometimes you'll find bricks or pavers that are around trees or the little area on the curb where you can walk almost like a balance beam. You can have the kids walk forward so they're walking narrow, or you can have them even sidestep holding your hands. If your child likes to collect things, maybe there's some neat rocks or there's some nice leaves or different things that you're putting around in the grass for them to pick up. A great activity is having to walk over and help them squat down and pick it up. Walk over, squat down, pick it up. It's a great strengthening activity. So any of those things, you just be a little bit more intentional on the walk and you're having a big gross motor lesson without even knowing it.
So what about for a child that's using a wheelchair? What are some things they can do while they're outside?
Well, it's important that kids in a wheelchair also experience movement and the different feel of different things. So if someone's being pushed in a wheelchair, to be pushed over the grass so they feel the bumps, spinning slowly. Well, sometimes I like it fast, so it depends on your child. But spinning in a circle, it seems to be a fun activity, but be sure to go back the other way as well. If you can find a little, the cutouts in the sidewalks, they can kind of go up and down so they feel that effect, gravity pulling on them. So just any of those same sort of experiences that aren't too jarring and too uncomfortable, but for them to experience the movement as well.
Okay, those are some great ideas. So what about now for those afternoons when it's kind of hot or we just don't want to pack everybody up and go outside? What are some things we can do inside? Because I don't know how many of us want our kids jumping off the couches or things in the house. So what are some indoor activities that we can do?
Well, music is a huge motivator. It is for most of us when we exercise, and movement can be so fun for kids to get their energy out. So if your children have you have like a favorite song, the whole point of this activity is just to get them to move, period. But what you can do is pick their favorite song and then pick 2 or 3 movements. Maybe if your child is in a wheelchair, it could be, and they can lift their arms up. You could pick that movement. Maybe if you're kicking your feet. Other possible activities are turning their head side to side, but just pick 2 or 3. And then you tell them, when I start to music, you're gonna kick your feet, kick your feet, kick your feet, and play their favorite song. And then tell them when you stop, they need to freeze. and then tell them what the next activity is, and do 2 or 3. There are a lot of songs on YouTube. It's called Stop and Freeze, and then they will help guide you through the different movements. Sometimes they're a little bit fast though, and the kids don't always catch up before they go on to the next one. So you can kind of make up your own. Other activities might be marching in place, or stomping like a dinosaur, turning in circles, jumping up and down with 2-hand held, whatever you feel comfortable with them doing in the house. But the fact is, the idea is they're moving their body.
Thank you. Oh, those are great ideas. I want to try the stop and freeze one with my own kiddo and see how
They'll
that
actually freeze. The hard part is getting them to stop, I think. Some very different activities in the house that you can do that kind of address ball skills, or it's called object manipulation skills or something like that. Throwing, catching, and kicking. That's not normally something we think of doing indoors a lot, but you can do it outdoor or indoor. If you're going to work on throwing, sometimes if it's a newly developing skill, maybe use bean bags. And if it hits anything, it's not necessarily going to break it.
Good idea. Yep.
Right. And if you're just starting out, you want to throw a really big object. So maybe you're tossing it to the couch. And if that gets pretty easy, you can toss it into something that's smaller, like a hamper, and then maybe even smaller into a wastebasket or something like that. If you're going to throw a tennis ball or definitely a baseball, I'd recommend going outside. If you're going to work on, and you can have them sitting and work on throwing if the standing balance isn't so great, and then where you can help them stand while they're working on throwing, or they can stand on their own. And if you really want to be challenging, if they're really good at standing, you can have them stand on a pillow or something that kind of throws their balance off a little bit. If you want to work on catching, you want to throw something or toss something at them that's not going to scare them, and something that's soft. So, and a little bit bigger than a beanbag. So maybe you might tap a balloon in their direction, and then it'll come toward them. A smaller beach ball. Or they have those rubber balls like at Target or Walmart. They're a couple dollars. They're a little bit lightweight. So anything that comes and hits them and bounce off of them, that it's okay. And you can do that in sitting. You can do it in standing. You can make it more challenging and have them stand like on a couch cushion or a pillow, just depending on the level of your child's balance. And then if you want to work on kicking, same thing. You sit them in a chair and roll a ball to them and have them kick it. You can do it in standing. You can set up stationary objects, like not everyone has bowling pins, but if you have plastic bowling pins, they could walk over, kick it, or you could use tall plastic cups. Anything that it's going to be okay with you that a child learns to kick, because if they're going to kick it in the future, you want to make sure it's something that it's okay with you. Or then you can also play kickback with the ball if they have if they're making contact with the cup and doing a good job with that. So that should keep people pretty busy. You got morning activity, afternoon activity.
I really like the balloon idea. That one sounds nice and safe. It won't bust anything, but still sounds like it'll get them moving.
And if you get really good, one can stand on one side of the couch and the other, and kind of use that as a net, so to speak.
These are great ideas, Carrie. Thank you for coming today on the Insight Talk Show.
You're welcome. Just remember, move, move, move.
Move, move, move. Yes. For more ideas, visit us next time. We will be talking with other exciting professionals at Foundation for Blind Children. Thank you, Ms. Carrie.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.